Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC, In It Together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Good Friday afternoon. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching Coping with Tre Tailor. It's Faith Friday, and today we're coping with faith with achieving your dreams. Filmmaker Michael Jones is doing just that. He joins us today with the cast from his movie Never Again. All of them we will talk to and find out what the film is about and more on Coping with Tre Tailor. I think we've got them. I don't see anybody up. But first, your COVID community updates. The plan to separate DHEC is one step closer. The Senate passed a bill yesterday to split the organization into two new agencies, which are the Department of Behavioral and Public Health and the Department of Environmental Services. The bill now heads to the House for further examination. And Representative Jerry Govan is running for the state superintendent seat. This after Molly Spearman announced she will not seek re-election. The 64-year-old former educator ran in 2014 for the position and will be up against Republican Ellen Weaver, head of the conservative think tank Palmetto Promise. At least 4 other candidates are expected to throw their hats into the ring. Cindy Coates, a 3-term Charleston County School Board member, Lexington County educator Kizzy Staley Gibson, Greenville County School Board trustee Linda Levatis Wells, and Kathy Manis, head of the Palmetto State Teachers Association. Candidate filing closes March 30th. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and location for COVID testing, flu shots, and COVID vaccinations in and around South Carolina. Visit scdheck.gov for more information. Now, scrolling on the bottom of the screen throughout the show, you will see up-to-date information on where you can also find COVID vaccination and testing locations, not only in South Carolina, but across the country. That includes retail outlets like Kroger, Walgreens, and also CVS, including the CVSs that are at Target stores, and that also includes the VA for veterans. Also, the Comet bus system here in Columbia, South Carolina. Also, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, you will see several types of financial resources. That includes the SC Bar Association, SC Legal Services, Lexington County Bill Assistance, SC Housing, Dominion Energy. All of these agencies have assistance programs for bills, rents, and mortgage if you are having some challenges, financial challenges, coping with COVID. Now, we also will be scrolling information about FEMA. FEMA is giving reimbursement for those people in your family that may have passed away due to COVID. You can see that information on the screen right there, and it will be scrolling on the bottom of the screen throughout the show. Also, a couple of funding opportunities will be scrolling, including First Steps. They're offering funding to host events for kids to get ready for kindergarten. The deadline to apply for that is April 1st. City of Columbia has a hiring event every Wednesday from 9 until 11. And Spectrum across the country is also hiring 350 full-time workers. Several shifts are available. You can see that information at jobs.spectrum.com. And again, that's just part of the information that will be scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the show. And don't forget about Diabetes Alert Day. It's next week. We're hosting 2 special cooking events Tuesday at noon. Join us for a live demo from top chefs Tiffany Darity. She'll be with us live from her Texas restaurant. Then Wednesday, Chef J, Judy Etheridge, will discuss healthy spices and infused water. All of that, so much more coming up next week right here on Coping with Tre Tailor. You are watching Coping with Tre Tailor. We're streaming live on the TaylorMade production page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you be able to watch Coping with COVID on Wednesday, but Coping with Tre Tailor Thursday and Friday. You'll also get notifications and all kind of great information about COVID and health and all types of great stuff. We're also streaming live on YouTube. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button, and you can watch past episodes of Coping with Tre Tailor. Please post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses, because today we are talking about following your dreams. I want to say hi to Mitchell Peace Joy Jen. She says hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much. Filmmaker Michael Jones joins us along with the cast of his film Never Again. We're going to talk to Mike first. He's architect, college professor, published author. Michael Jones has always used his life experiences to help the community at large. Most recently, he's written, produced, and directed 3 gospel touring plays, including 40 Acres, Who Stole the Mule, When God Calls, Will You Answer, and Never Again, which has been made into a movie that will stream online next year. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So let me ask, why did you decide to make this play into a movie?
Well, we've been touring since 2002 throughout the Southeast. Never Again was the first one. We toured from 2002 to 2004. And now in today's time, within a lot of racial unrest and a lot of things going on in America, now we're in kind of like a Black History Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
So we toured with, the last play I was touring with, When God Calls, We Answer. We toured that one from 2011 to 2018, and I was ready to retour that one with celebrities in 2020. But you know what happened in 2020?
Yes. Don't we all know?
So stage plays kind of had to be put on hold for a minute in 2020 and 2021. So someone came to me and said, you know what? You need to bring Never Again back, because it's a Black history stage play based on the mental conditioning of slavery, where a grandmother explains the issues from a past to the present, to unfold, to enlighten, to inspire, and uplift African Americans in our issues that we're going through now. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, yeah, but we toured many years ago. So I was like, well, I can actually get a stage, get actors on stage, no audience, and record it live, put it on the internet. And we started that. I got a theater, and we was putting some grass and dirt on the stage. And they're like, well, you know what? There's free grass outside in the back.
Imagine that.
And I'm like, and you mean I can keep my $2,000 deposit? So it's like, okay. So we went outside, started doing the slave scenes and Negro Baseball League and all the others. And one thing led to another, and it became a movie. And now I love this movie process. I mean, it's
I was going to ask you about that. What is the process of trying to take something from stage to film? You talked about the movie process, loving it.
Yeah, it's like night and day. I've been doing stage for 20 years. So doing a movie, it's so much, one scene can take you all day to film it. Take after take after take after take. And I teach acting, so I teach my actors how to cry, how to get the best emotions out of you. The camera is right in your face. Mm-hmm. So you can't cheat the camera. On a stage play, you're a good 30 feet from anyone in the audience, so you can kind of cheat crying. But in a movie, you have to really cry. You have to let it come out because the camera is in your face. So, and if it doesn't work the first take, cut. Back to one, start again, do it again. Cut, do it again, cut, do it again. And you have an opportunity to refine it all day in the computer to make it the best work possible with
Yeah.
a movie. You have a lot of details with the camera, lighting, sound, a lot of the things, the wardrobe, the makeup artist. We have a whole production
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Um, so I love that process, and I'm working on set, outside. Oh, it was some hard days working in the slave scenes outside.
Oh, I
Um,
bet. I bet. We're
yeah,
talking to
but I
filmmaker.
love it.
We're talking to filmmaker Michael Jones. We're going to be joined by the cast of his film Never Again in the next segment. But uh, you were an architect, college professor, published author. Have you
Yeah.
always wanted to delve into the arts, Mike?
Well, one thing led to another, and it's kind of um, I got into art because I like to draw. Drawing turned into I couldn't really figure out what I can do with art, so
Mhm.
art turned into architecture. And I graduated in architecture in Atlanta, and I had an architectural firm for a couple years. I loved that. Then I got into real estate, and I got this real estate degree. Started to look at buying and selling real estate, and it just led to the book I wrote, which is $1 at a time, which is about economic empowerment in the Black community,
Mhm.
which led to the whole process. And this is the book $1 at a time, which led to the whole process of learning how we can pool our power. And our power lies in knowing who we are as African American people. And I learned a lot of that in Atlanta. Going to Morris Brown and Southern Tech in Atlanta, I became more self-aware, and our power and lies in knowing who we are. And it just one thing led to another, and I wrote my book. I did a book tour from 2000 2001, and someone came to me and said, "You know what? I like your book, but have you ever thought about writing a play? Because
Mhm.
Black folks don't read." Oh, I didn't want to hear that. I really didn't. But I took them up on it, and I turned my book into a stage play.
Mhm.
Never have done stage plays. And we did the play in Augusta, Georgia when I first got here in 2002, and we sold out my very first show, Never Again.
Wow. Wow.
And that's been the high I've been chasing ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just one thing led to another. It's just opportunities come when you humble yourself and you pay attention to the will that God has placed on your life. And
Yeah.
I'm so blessed that God has channeled me into areas that I can be of benefit to mankind.
Yeah, Michael Jones joins us. He is a former architect, author, real estate agent, as he just said, and now he's a producer, director, and creator of several plays. One of his plays, Never Again, is going to be streaming online as a
Yes.
film, and he's been sharing with us. You've been doing this, like you said, 20 plus years. How has the business changed over the years, Mike?
Well, the business of theater is that's what I've learned more. I'm now getting into filmmaking. One thing, COVID has changed everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
To
I
the
mean,
point where I don't think we're going to go back to what we thought was normal. I think it's changed
yeah.
some things permanently.
Yeah, and a lot of business, a lot of people in the arts had to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
Streaming from music to movies to YouTube to all the other things that you can do to get your message out. Once upon a time, you had to get a contract with major AMC theaters or whatever to put your movie into a theater,
Right.
and that's a lot of money you had to shell out. Now, since movie theaters are kind of, going away like Blockbuster did, so a lot of people still going to movie theaters, but streaming is opening
Yeah.
the doors
Yeah. Streaming is
for
king
so
now.
many people.
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you want this to go? I mean, you've had good success with the plays. You're getting ready to stream the movie online.
Yes.
What are your long-term goals? Where do you want to see this go?
Well, I've got my other plays, actually, 40 Acres Who Stole the Mule, When God Calls You Answer, and the newest one, There's a Blessing in Your Pressing. I'm actually going to be turning those into movies as well. So
Good.
I've got a long path, and I'm also creating a film studio. I'm here in Augusta for other artists. Since I've created the infrastructure for putting together a movie, I'm going to be helping other people put their projects online. I'm being reached by a lot of different people to help them write a book, and either help them turn their book into a movie. I've gotten a couple of projects for that. So it's basically helping people take their message live. Everyone has a message. And God has placed a passion, a desire in all of us. And that's important that we express what God has given us and the talents that God is giving. The highest the value for us is to give to others. So
Absolutely.
that's what I'm able to do. And I'm so blessed that I'm in a position now. I'm going to be putting my movies out there. I mean, my stage plays out there into movies, and then I'm going to be helping other people with their projects.
Right. We're talking to Michael Jones. He is a actor. Well, he's not an actor, he's a writer, director, producer, filmmaker now, and he just turned his play Never Again into a movie. It's going to be streaming online sometime this year. Coming up, we're
Yeah.
going to talk
Yes.
more to Mike about the film. We're going to see a little sneak peek of the film, and then talk to some of the actors and actresses that are appearing in Never Again. I'm Tre Tailor, and you're watching Coping with Tre Tailor. We'll be right back.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
It's always going to be there and gets me everywhere I need to go.
We try to ride every single day. Comedy is our livelihood.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Aiken Cockrum. As Miss America, I know that taking care of yourself is important. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. Brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us again for Coping with Tre Tailor. We're streaming live on the Tailor Made Production page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you be able to watch Coping with Tre Tailor, you'll also be able to get all types of COVID-related content. We've got so many resources on that page. Also, we're streaming live on the YouTube channel. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button. Not only will you be able to watch past episodes of Coping with Tre Tailor, you'll also be able to enjoy and engage. We're also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Hey, don't forget that streaming at the bottom of the screen, we've got all types of great resources, all types of information about COVID, about vaccinations, financial resources, and more scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Filmmaker Michael Jones joins us today on Coping. His play turned movie Never Again will be streaming online this year. We're joined by some of the actors. Mike, introduce us to the folks you've got with you today.
Okay, well, I've got a couple of actors here. Christian, he plays is a wonderful young actor. He plays G Money in his scenes. You're gonna love him. You're gonna love him. And Dorian James, which is his mother in the movie, and she's awesome. I mean, she cried in almost every scene. She can really go. And Tim Gilmore Jr., he's been with me for a couple of stage plays, and he's the comedian. He plays in a couple of scenes in the movie as well. Wonderful actor as well. And Farlicia, she's grandma. Because the movie is basically grandma explaining the mental conditioning of slavery.
All right. Well, we lost Mike. And we said that might happen. So, all right. So tell me, Christian, first, tell me a little bit about how you became involved in the film.
Actually, it was my mother who kind of got me involved in the film. She knew of Mike Jones before me, and she introduced the film to me, and I was like, definitely, I want to do it. And originally, it was a stage play, so I do a lot of plays, and so I was like, really, yeah, I want to do it. And then when it got turned into a movie, I was even more excited. So yeah, that's how I kind of got involved.
Awesome. Farlicia, are you an actress by trade?
Well, actually, I have done a few stage plays, but I haven't done an actual film until now. So it's brand new to me and just exciting.
Right. What about the other two? Have either of you done mostly film or also plays?
Dorian, I'll let you go first.
Mike just reached out to me and asked me would I be interested in his play. And I explained to him I know nothing about acting. I've just been a background, but with his teaching, I felt more comfortable. So that's how I got in it.
Tim, how did you prepare to get into your character?
Well, for me, it was more learning what the character was about, learning the interactions that he was going to have on the scene, and then trying to find a mental picture or some type of reference in real life to how somebody would act in a situation like that. So I kind of patterned myself after stuff that I've seen of other movies or in real life that would help portray the situation. I actually imagined myself being in the situation so that I can make sure that it looked real and looked natural.
We're talking to Mike Jones and the cast of his play turned film, Never Again. Let's watch a little bit of it. Michael Jones, Never Again. We saw a little bit of the clip right there, and we are excited about it. So, Farlicia, did you, and I hear feedback from somebody, I'm not sure who I hear it from. I don't know if okay, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to take one person down at a time and see where the feedback's coming from. Okay, it's Farlisha. All right, so Farlisha, I'm not sure why we're getting feedback from your from you being on, but let me see if we can get a yeah. It's you, Farlisha. I'm not quite sure why. Yeah, it's you, Farlisha. I'm not quite sure why. Can you turn down your volume?
I have no idea.
Can you turn the volume down on your device? All right, so we're going to continue to go into the interview. Maybe Farlisha will get her audio up. I was going to ask her about how she kind of got into the character of grandmother. But Mike, how did you choose this cast? How did you get an idea of who you wanted to play each character? Mike? Okay, we don't have Mike. All right, Mike, can you hear me? Okay, he must not hear. Christian and Tim, do you guys hear me?
I hear you. I think his might be delayed a little bit.
All right, tell me about some other projects the three of you have done. I think Mike is frozen. I think that's
I'm working with the Augusta Mini Theater. It's a local theater. I've done plays with them. All God's Children Has a Gun. I did that back before COVID happened in 2020. I'm also been working on my own podcast and like things of that. But acting wise, I'm also gearing up for another play with the Augusta Mini Theater. It's called Cage. It's about Augusta riots that have happened locally. I'm also just got signed for a new show that is getting ready to be picked up soon. I'm really excited about that. But those are the things that I've done. I've done background a lot. But yeah, acting wise, yeah.
All right. What about you, Tim?
Well, I've been in a few plays actually. I was it's so many. I've been doing it since I was young, since I was 12. I've been in let's see. When God Calls, Will You Answer? Sorry, Mr. Charlie with a different producer. I'm currently a singer/songwriter, and I'm working on getting into the 3D animation field myself as far as like creating animated movies. Right now, I'm in the stage of getting all the software and equipment and everything. I've already got storylines. Just finding the headspace. This is. I feel this is going to open up the door. Seeing Mike's success, picking his brain a little bit, seeing, what avenues I can get, or either kind of tips and tricks and stuff that he's learned, and I think that just us working together is just going to help build. But I've did a number of plays, different ones, stage plays with different producers. And so far, I enjoyed all of those experiences. This is actually my first movie.
Oh, great.
I didn't really know it was going to come. The movie Mike just called me and it's like, hey, Tim, you want to do a movie? And I was like, yeah, like sign me up. It's like a dream that I've been wanting to do for so long, and it's just finally coming true. So I'm just ecstatic about it.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Farlisha, we've got you back. What about you? What are your goals from here? Farlisha, you're on mute. Farlisha?
Yes. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
I was
asking, breaking up a little bit.
From here, what would you like to do from here? From here, what would you like to do from here?
Well, from here, I would like to be in another movie, really. I've done some stage plays with Monopoly Street, with Mike Warren. I've done a few fashion shows, plus size modeling, things like that. And I have my delivery and catering business called The Little Taste of Heaven. So I do a lot of cooking as well. But from this experience that I've had the chance to have with Mike and the crew, I would greatly appreciate being in another movie and having a crew just as good as this one.
All right.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun doing it.
All right. And what about you? Okay, she must not be able to hear me either. All right. So Mike,
yes.
Tell me about some upcoming projects you might have.
Well, this one will be, like I said, launched on Juneteenth. and I'm so excited that the other projects, we're talking about 40 Acres, Who Stole the Mule? That will be right after I finish this one. We'll be launching that. Hopefully, it will be airing next year as well. And then When God Calls, You Answer. And then there's A Blessing in Your Pressing. So those are immediate projects that I've been working on.
All right. Well, listen, we look forward to Never Again debuting on Juneteenth. And
Yes.
When you get ready to debut, please let us know. We would love to help you promote that and whatever we can do to help you. Each of you, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Good luck to you. God bless. Mike's gone again. Good luck to you. God bless each of your endeavors. And I thank you so much for joining us today once again on Coping. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you, Trey, for having us.
Absolutely. So listen, if you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope or cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtreitailor.com. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. That information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Advisory Council, along with SCDHEC. They sponsor Coping with COVID every Wednesday right here on Coping with COVID. And also the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Black Expo just had Charleston last weekend. Not next weekend, in May, we're going to do the Columbia Black Expo. Also, Agape Counseling and Training Services, the Comet Bus System, Palmetto Media Connections, Javis Tax Services, and also the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson. Coming up, as I said, we have got a couple of great shows coming up next week. It is Diabetes Alert Day next week, and we are hosting 2 special cooking events. Tuesday at noon, join us for a live demo from Top Chef Tiffany Derry, live from her Texas restaurant. Then Wednesday, Chef Judy Etheridge will discuss healthy spices and infused water. That's next week on Diabetes Alert Day on Coping with COVID from the Diabetes Action Council and In It Together SC. Thursday, Janice Martin with the National Council of Negro Women and Bree Maxwell discussed the nomination of Ketanji Brown to the Supreme Court and what you can do to help. And then Friday, we continue our celebration of Women's History Month with Chappelle Broom. She's the first African-American and woman to hold a high-level management position at Columbia International Airport. As usual, we leave you with a reading from Conversations with God. And today, this says, Father, I thank you for opening my eyes and my ears. There is much going on in my mind, and much of the time I do not or cannot hear your voice. I pray that I never move so far that I can't hear you. It's a frightening place not to be able to hear your voice. Life seems hard and harsh when I cannot hear you. When I feel I've moved too far, I am lost without you. I pray, Father, that I reflect a life of Christ, one of life, humility, kindness, meekness, patience, joy, peace, and long suffering. I pray for the evidence and manifestation of the fruit of your Spirit. That's Conversations with God. It is a beautiful devotional from Cheryl Mims Williams with Agape Counseling and Training Services. It is a combination of scriptures and also some of her journal readings. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much again for joining us today on Coping with Tre Tailor. Are your kids out of school? Mine are. One is. And no matter how many times I said, please stay downstairs, he just could not. Anyway, thank you guys again so much for joining us. Take care. Stay well. God bless. Please get your vaccination. And don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. Do you want to say hello? Now you don't want to say hello. Really? Bye, y'all. Bye.
Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In It Together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the city of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.